Hi everyone, welcome back to the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Center. I'm GoLocal News editor Kate Nagle. I'd like to welcome in my next guest of no relation that we know of, Ann Nagle, the Assistant Dean of Continuing Education at Providence College. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, Kate. It's a pleasure to be here.
I appreciate your coming in before a big open house taking place on November 7th, but really wanted you to come in and tell us. You've been at Providence College for over 2 decades.
Correct.
And talk with us on what you think viewers and readers should know about the continuing ed program, and if folks are thinking about that going back to school idea in their head, how to sort of take those next steps.
Absolutely. I appreciate the opportunity to be here. So Providence College is really well known in the area as well as regionally and nationally for the undergrad day program, the basketball team, and all the things that make PC a great school. However, we've got this incredible School of Continuing Education, which is basically our evening college, online and weekend college for adult learners. It's a well-kept secret, despite our efforts to not make it a well-kept secret. We have about 500 students at any given time, but we are basically a bachelor's degree completion program for working adults in the area. So all of our courses are at night, Saturday mornings, online, or hybrid, meaning partly online and partly on campus. We have 7 or 8 different bachelor's programs as well as skill building certificate programs, and we're quite affordable at $1,080 for a 3-credit class.
So you talk about the myriad of ways that folks can, again, get that continuing ed towards that bachelor. Now, you've been there for a couple of decades. How much has the online component really become a big piece of this puzzle as folks are, again, looking to go back to school and complete that degree?
Sure. Online is a wonderful option. It's not for everybody and it's not for every class. For example, at Continuing Ed at PC, we offer probably 10 to 20 online classes a semester in a variety of different subject areas. So it's always an option for students. We don't offer complete degree programs online. There are some schools that do. We find that most of our adult learners really prefer a hybrid format where they're coming to campus for some classes and doing the rest online. It's incredibly convenient and a great way to sort of mix and match formats.
Now, when we talk with college recruiters, we know folks trying to get folks in for the undergrad. They're at the high schools trying to get people to come on in. Where are you around, as you said, getting this word out, really reaching out into the community to let folks know what PC has to offer?
Sure, it's a great question. We do a lot of recruiting at community colleges, particularly CCRI here in Rhode Island, as well as Bristol Community College in Fall River. So we talk to students who are about to complete an associate's degree. We have a special articulation agreement with CCRI called the GATA, which is the Guaranteed Admission and Tuition Agreement, in which CCRI students can apply to us as early as within their first 30 credits of school and then stay at CCRI to graduate with an associate's degree. Once they do that with a 3.0, which is a B, grade point average or higher, they can come over to us to complete their bachelor's at a 33% tuition discount. So they end up paying about $740 a class and have up to 5 years to get that bachelor's degree. As long as they maintain the 3.0, they get that discounted tuition.
And so how many of these CCRI students do you find? Has the number fluctuated, or is it a significant portion of your continuing education students?
It's a pretty good portion. It's a great question. I don't know hard numbers, but it's a good number of our students. But we also get students from the local area who've been to other community colleges, other 4-year schools, and had to leave either for work or illness, or they had children and decided to start to raise their family. So they come from a host of backgrounds, veterans, out of the military, student veterans. So we work with adult learners literally from 20 to 80 years old and from all different kinds of backgrounds and circumstances.
So November 7th, there's going to be a big open house information session. So tell folks a little bit, if they're watching right now, and
sure,
maybe this is flicked a switch about continuing ed, what can they expect? And we'll provide links following after the fact. But what can folks expect on November 7th?
Absolutely. So on November 7th, which is a Wednesday, from 5:30 to 7 p.m. over at PC in Harkins Hall, our main building, we'll be offering what we're calling a one-stop workshop for success. It's an information session, but during the time, 5:30 to 7 p.m., students will be able to apply right online using our simple online application. We'll be waiving the application fee. They'll be able to talk with our academic advisors as well as a financial aid counselor to figure out how to pay for going back to school. We'll be able to look at transcripts from other schools to evaluate transfer credit, and it's going to be a terrific opportunity to learn more about how to go to school, what to think about, how to pay for it, and why particularly at Providence College School of Continuing Education.
Now, when folks look to start with the School of Continuing Ed, is it again that traditional school year construct? Is it a fall start, or can they start in the spring, start in the summer? What is that kind of, from acceptance to start, what's that time frame look like?
Sure, another great question. So we offer classes in the fall, spring, and summer, so 3 main semesters, if you will. Students can apply and start taking courses in any one of those 3 semesters. Students can also take courses as a non-degree student. Just come in, check us out, take a class. You don't have to matriculate, which is a fancy word for apply and enroll. You can take just a class and see how that fits with your lifestyle and your schedule. We also accept students who are applying for financial aid using the FAFSA form, the Federal Financial Aid Form, which a lot of people are familiar with from their own children or even themselves. Sometimes that requires a little bit of a head start to complete to get aid in time, but we're pretty much rolling admissions, so anytime students can apply or register for a class.
And so let's talk about that, not having to, as you said, matriculate. Do you get a lot of those students who either want to take a class or two, maybe the older student who just is very interested in a subject area? What's that student look like?
Absolutely. We call some of those students the culture vultures. So there are people that come in and just take a class in art or in a language because they want to, and we welcome them. They are definitely in the minority of our students. Most of our students are in a degree program or about to matriculate into one, taking 3, 4, 5 classes and decided this is what they want to do. But again, we have a wide diversity of students from right out of high school to a retired dentist in his 90s who's still taking classes with us. So we run the gamut.
So you've been at PC for a couple of decades now, heading up the continuing ed program. What do you envision the program looking like moving forward? I'm sure you're constantly tweaking it for those students, but as we move past and look into the coming years.
Sure. One correction, I'm not in charge of the School of Continuing Education. I'm the number 2 person.
Assistant Dean Nagle, yes.
Thank you. Just want to clarify that. Madeline Metzler is our Associate Dean and our Acting Dean at the moment for our School of Continuing Education. I think that we're looking at lots of different options because Providence College is a Catholic liberal arts school. I don't see that will dramatically change into, a completely online college, etc. But we're going to continue to add elements that we know people are looking for. Some of our programs need to be more workforce oriented. Speaking of which, we have a brand new Bachelor of Arts degree coming in January of 2019 in healthcare administration. We're very excited about this. We've been meeting with local hospitals and doctors' offices and medical groups to let people know that some of their folks may be interested who don't yet have a bachelor's in that particular degree. So always looking at what's going on in the workforce, adding more online classes, and being as convenient as we can for adult learners.
Well, you talk about that healthcare bachelor's, as you said, nothing more workplace appropriate with the healthcare industry right now. But I appreciate your coming in. Is there anything that we have not touched upon with the continuing education at Providence College that you think folks should know?
One thing I would say that we didn't touch upon is we happen to have a very strong reputation for individual academic advising. Coming back to school is not easy. There are probably 100 reasons not to return for every reason to return. However, it is so worth it, so worthwhile in terms of increased income, lower chances of ever being unemployed. And we are receiving high marks year after year on student satisfaction surveys for the quality of our academic advising. So don't hesitate. We work with you one-on-one. Come to the information session on November 7th. Check out campus, talk with us, and we think it'll be one of the best decisions you've ever made.
Okay, well, Ann Nagle, again, probably distantly related.
I think so. There's got to be a connection.
We were trying to figure it out there. The Assistant Dean for Continuing Ed at Providence College. I appreciate your taking the time to come in here.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Thanks
Thank
so much.
you, Kate. I enjoyed it very much.
Don't go anywhere. We've talked politics. We've talked education. Now we're going to talk playing for a cure in the fight against ALS. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.